All right, so this is gonna be a very important video. This is gonna help you determine what is your target weight that you should aim to be. So what is that weight you wanna be at your height? That movie star physique, that physique that looks good, the physique that is most attractive towards women. So let's jump in. Now, if you get this wrong, you could have muscle, but look off. Or you could be really lean, but no one's gonna really care. You're gonna slip through the cracks. So there's really a formula of how much you should weigh based on your height. Now, funny enough, we've all heard about the BMI calculator, okay? And most people in fitness call it useless. It doesn't measure muscle. You know, you could have two people with the same BMI. One looks great, one looks bad. But in the context of everything, in the context of body fat, the BMI can actually be quite useful. For example, you could have a guy that has so much muscle, that has a 30 BMI, that's relatively lean, but even carrying that much weight, that much size isn't even conducive for health, okay? And you could have someone that's very, very lean, but their BMI is very low, and it's not gonna be really the most attractive. So based on the research, men wanna be around a 24 to 26 BMI. That's the sweet spot. That's when you're gonna look the best. Now, to give you perspective, I'm 5'10", and so for me, that's somewhere around, 170 to 180 pounds, okay? Somewhere around there. That's really the sweet spot. That's where I'm gonna look best. And funny enough, if I look back over the last 6 years, that's really where I've been, The 24 would be like a 168, and 26 BMI would be in 182. At my biggest, I've been up to 186, but I didn't really like that. I've, more so stayed longer term at 180, 182. And the absolute leanest I've got, back in that Bruce Wayne days, was about 167 to 169. So I've kind of been across the range of BMI, and that's where you're gonna really have that lean, chiseled movie star look. So I actually put together a really cool guide. You can hit the link in this description and actually plug in your height and weight, and you can actually find out what's your BMI right now, and then really where do you want to be? Because you can have a guy that's lean, that gets down to 78% body fat, but if he's 5'10", 150, he's never gonna get the attention he wants. He's never gonna have the look that he wants because he needs to put on some muscle. So this is really, really helpful. If you're a taller guy, you can really find out, what is that target BMI. Now, I really find that the 25 BMI is really perfect. I think 26 is on the higher end. When I'm like 175, 176, that's definitely when I look my sharpest. Right now I'm about 179, 180. So I'm actually gonna be trimming down closer to that 25 BMI, which I find is really where you get that perfect mix of size and definition. And there's a lot of guys that think they have to get way bigger than they are. They're 6 feet, they think they need to be 210 pounds. That's completely wrong. At 6 foot, 185, 190 is really, really good. So I recommend finding out, what is your BMI right now? Do you have fat to lose? Do you need to gain muscle, okay? And what's that BMI at a 24 or 25? And if we want to get very, very specific, the 24 BMI is really that warrior physique, a bit more of that leaner, tighter physique, which is the warrior look. Think about like Brad Pitt, Snatch, Fight Club. If you want sort of that Greek god physique, you can think about Brad Pitt and even Troy, or Daniel Craig, some of the guys with a little bit more muscle. You want that superhero look. So you determine what your goal is. And again, the most important thing, of course, is that you want to achieve these BMIs while being lean, with this lean DEXA score, or I recommend just getting a tape measure your waist around belly button, and ideally you want to have your waist about 45% of your height. So if you're 6 foot, you want to get your waist to about 32.5 while being in that BMI sweet spot. Or if you're 5'10", you're gonna really wanna get to 31.5. Even if you wanna go half an inch lower, you can get to the 31-inch waist. So if you can actually get your waist dialed and be in that 24 to 26 BMI, that's where you're gonna look incredible, okay? Everything's gonna fall into place. So I see a lot of guys that go too high in the weight, or they're too low and they're outside of that range. And it's been shown that women find that 24 to 26 BMI the most attractive. And for men, we actually find a woman with a 18 to 20 BMI as actually the most attractive. So hopefully this was helpful for you. Download that little guide. You can actually plug in the information right there. I'll put a link to my little Kino info blog. Now, one of the problems people have is, they get lean, but they fall below that 24 BMI. They got a lot of muscle to build. So one thing that'd be really helpful is getting up your free testosterone, okay? We've seen people take Mojo and they are getting way better results on the programs by simply increasing that free T. If you can increase your free T 30, 40, 50%, you're gonna see improved strength gains and improved muscle gains. And of course, for the guys that have fat to lose, they're above that range, that's when the free T can really drop. When you have excess body fat, that is inversely correlated with testosterone. So one of the ways to kind of kick things into motion is help dial in your free T, increase testosterone, and then as you start to melt off fat, you put yourself in a much better position to produce testosterone. So I'll put the link to the Mojo below, and we actually have a really, really cool Mojo quiz to get a ballpark of where your testosterone levels are. So if you're in that lower end, the higher end, in the average end, it's not as exact as doing blood work, but it's pretty damn close. So hit the link below and you can actually get the Mojo and even do the Mojo quiz to find out where you are right now. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll talk soon.